So if we are saying that we are doing away with the estate agent and the conveyancer, which is the property lawyer, I'm dealing directly with this person, then the question will be, how do I know that this person is the rightful owner?
Guys, I understand that we love property, we are invested in property, and we want by all means to love property or to purchase property, right? But at no point should you give the owner or the estate agent the money.
So today what we're doing is that we want to change a bit how we're going about learning in a fun manner. So what we did is that we've got 4 points. I've got 2, Lebu has 2. So we'll be asking that is this true or false, hearing from you, and then I'll also hear from Lebu so that we can engage about these 4 pointers.
Yeah. So in the comment section, whatever Neo is going to say, just say, is it true or false?
Yeah.
So Neo will say Neo has black hair, but with property investing, right? Do I have black hair? True or false? And then you're going to say true or false.
Yeah.
But this is just the property investing life. We're speaking everything property investing. Now hit us up with the first one.
So the first question from my side is that you do not need an estate agent to complete a deal. So when I'm saying you do not need an estate agent to complete a deal, I'm basically saying that if I'm the buyer, Lebu's the seller, and then you guys are the agents, that means I do not need the agent to complete this transaction. True or false?
False. Okay, we have the first false.
We got the first false. B is
False.
the first one. False. Hazel false.
False.
Melanie false. Okay, there we go. True.
What is it?
So the question again is that you do not need an estate agent to complete the deal.
Okay. Theoretically speaking, you do not need a agent to complete a deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't need it. Right?
G-Boy says true and false. That's interesting. That's an interesting one.
So theoretically speaking, you don't need an agent to complete the deal, right? Now, if you're going to be coming from a professional, right, property investor, and really understand what is the job of an estate agent, then you'll start understanding why we really need the estate agent, right? Now, with an estate agent, if you say, for instance, Neo has a house and I want to buy the house, I can go directly to Neo. We sign with a transferring attorney, and then the deal is sorted. We didn't need an estate agent between us. Now, where it becomes different is that when the estate agent is not there, the estate agent, if say for instance right now the estate agent is going to be marketing your property, whereby they are on both sides, however, they want the person that owns the property to win more. Right? But at the end of the day, both parties are going to win. Now, the party that the estate agent most of the time is playing for is the one that's selling their property. Right? Now, if I'm selling my property right now and someone gives me a ridiculous offer, say for instance, right now my property is on the market for 900,000 and someone gives me a deal of 500,000. It's the estate agent's job to go through to the owner and present that offer.
Yeah.
However, it's also the estate agent's job to tell the owner that the property can't be sold at that particular price. Reason being, properties around this area are causing X amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have that person that's telling you that, no, we can't do this, you're going to be emotional, especially once if your property has been in the market for, say for instance, your property has been in the market for the past 2 months, right? And sometimes when you do post your property on Property 24, most of the time, after 2 weeks, you just like, I want to get rid of this property as soon as possible. However, the estate agents comes from the knowledge side, knowing very well the market.
Yeah.
Like, we can't sell the property at this amount because that will be a total rip-off.
Yeah.
So now, the estate agent is going to come as an advisor for you to be able to understand that what is the worth of your property, especially if you're not in the business a lot. So now, say for instance, right now, there's a lot of times whereby estate agents are actually working on a lot of deals. So now if I'm working on a lot of deals, I know what people are going to do when they're going to come to me and purchase a property. Whereas if someone has never sold a property and you are saying that I'm giving you an offer of 500,000 and no one has actually given me an offer for the past 2 months, chances are you're going to say that, you know what, let me just sign this property and just get it out of the way. So what I like about estate agents, especially the professional ones, is that they come in as advisories whereby they will tell you that should you do this or shouldn't you do this.
I mean, I remember with us, right, like for the first deal that we had, so what we're doing is that we flip properties. We buy them in a very bad state and then we sell it, we fix, and then we sell it higher. I remember with us the very first time, we thought that we could do everything. We didn't really understand what property investing is. We didn't understand exit strategy. We didn't understand not being emotional about property investing. We thought that, but if we could sell this property on our own, we could keep the 8%. I mean, an estate agent, they vary. Some of them will charge you 3% of the selling price, and others will charge you 8%. So to us, it was more of, but let's sell this property and then we get to keep whatever.
Yeah.
But forgetting something that if I'm going to try this, just take your home a picture. Just take your home a picture and post it on Insta. You'll be shocked that you might get 1 like, 2 likes, depending on how many people follow you, of course. Some people will get 100 likes. But now, let's be honest. If you are converting us into monetizing it, we need a professional. And if you're dealing with an expert estate agent in that community, this person has sold deals in a certain area, and you find out that there were still people on his call log that are looking for similar properties that you have. So now you're strategically positioning yourself, because now what you'll then do, you'll leverage off their experience and their knowledge. And I feel that this is where, especially as property investors, that we really do wrong, in a sense whereby we get emotionally attached to what I put into the property. You find out sometimes the estate agent will ask you, okay, how much do you want? But now I'm telling them that, hey, my brother, I put in 800,000 in this property, I want 1.5. But then he comes through and says, you know what, look at the market. I've worked in this market for so long, and I don't advise you to sell it at that 1.5. So that's where it does become emotional, and we really need to be careful that if we're not including the estate agent, we really need to understand the outcomes of it. The last one, Leo, right, is that when you come with an estate agent, is that this estate agent will come with a reputable conveyancer. So when I'm saying a reputable conveyancer, I'm talking about a property lawyer. We were in a meeting today with Lebo, with these 3 ladies, that they did a cash purchase only to find out that the person who got the money wasn't the true owner of the property. So if we are saying that we are doing away with the estate agent and the conveyancer, which is the property lawyer, I'm dealing directly with this person, then the question will be, how do I know that this person is the rightful owner? They own the deal. They own the property. Somebody can live in a house for 20 years but not be the rightful owner. We can know that Lebo is my neighbor. He's been living there for the past 30 years. But you find out that he's not the rightful owner. So even when we take it to court now, it's more of a dragging thing, because we did not include the conveyancer. So Lebo, can we wrap this up by you explaining what is the role of the conveyancer?
Okay, so conveyancer, as Neo did say, is that they are a lawyer, but they specifically focus on property. So now the importance of a conveyancer is for them to actually check out that is everybody giving the true statements, and also what they then going to do is that they're going to divide all of the monies. So I'll give you a practical example, right? We purchase a property and then we're trying to sell it right now, right? So say for instance, let's put numbers to it so that it really makes sense to everybody. Say for instance, right now we're selling the property at 1 million. So what would then happen is that I put my property on Property 24, or not me, I give my estate agent the property to list it. They put it on the market for 1 million, right? Now, Neo comes through and he buys my property at 1 million. So what then would happen is that the 1 million that Neo, if say for instance, let's make it even just as clean as possible, right? Neo has cash of 1 million. So Neo wants to purchase the property. He won't give me, this is something that I really want to emphasize, because we have a lot of people coming through to us and telling us this story. At no point should you, if you're purchasing a property, give the owner directly the money. Guys, I understand that we love property, we are invested in property, and we want by all means to love property or to purchase properties, right? But at no point should you give the owner or the estate agent the money. You never give the money. So never with the 1 million, he'll never transfer that amount to my bank account or to the agent's bank account. What would happen is that once the agent has actually signed, once Neo has signed the offer to purchase, what would then happen is that Neo would then send the money to the lawyer, to the attorney, right? This is the transferring attorney. So what transferring attorney will then do is that they will contact all parties. So they'll contact the person that owns the property. they'll contact the person that wants to purchase the property. Then the bank will contact them to make sure that they are the ones that are going to be transferring the property from my name into Neo's name, right? Now that we have this particular instance, what the transferring attorney will do, or the conveyancer, what they will do is that they will then give everybody what is owed. So say for instance, if I owe my rates and taxes, I owe levies, I owe the bank, I also owe the estate agent. What the transferring attorney will do is that they will pay everybody first. Then after paying everybody first, then only will the money come to me. Now the thing is, imagine if the money came to me, then I had to pay the everybody. I guarantee you that a lot of people wouldn't pay. I'm sure before they brought in transferring attorneys, people wouldn't pay.
I'm sure that was the case.
People wouldn't pay.
I paid level 1,000 and then it's like, guys, I don't have the money to pay you.
Especially with estate agents, because I think a lot of people, especially homeowners, they don't really see the work. I mean, estate agents really work a lot behind the scenes. Now, you only see the estate agent bringing somebody to the property and making them view. You don't see what they do behind the curtains. Now, if the property is sold in, say, for instance, like, let's say 2 weeks, and then the estate agent needs to get, let's say, 50,000. Okay, let's work out the percentage for 1 million. Yeah. So 1 million, 8% of 1 million would be around 80,000, right?
So the estate agent was charging us 8% to sell this property.
8%.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this 8%, most of homeowners, they are thinking that I can't give this person 80,000 because they sold my property within 2 weeks. Now, you don't understand what happened behind the scenes. Now, this is why we have property or transferring attorneys, because they will pay the estate agent before even the money comes to you.
Yeah.
So that's the role of the estate agent.
And can I also emphasize something on the payment, right? When you are paying to a trust account of that conveyancer. So if you see that I told you that I'm selling my property and I told you that my name is Neo and then I'm giving you my account details, you already know that that's not a trust account of the conveyancer. So we need to make sure that when we're paying, any transaction that will be done, it will be facilitated by the conveyancer and the money will go into the trust account. Okay. That is point number 1. Let's go. Okay. The game is starting.
Let's go to point number 2. Okay, so to everybody that is, I'm seeing the comment section blowing up, man.
Yeah.
I see the comment section blowing up. So can we please just do these ones, and then after that we'll take questions and answers. Yeah. And then what we'll also do is that we'll open the live to anybody that wants to join us, right?
Sure.
If you can just bear with us. So the second one, remember, we're blowing up. Is it true or false, right? Yeah. The second statement is that, this one is a nice one. This one is a nice one. Right?
The first one wasn't the nice one.
No, they're all nice. They're all nice. So the second one reads as follows, right?
Okay.
It is more expensive renting than owning apartment.
Yeah.
Owning versus renting, which one is cheaper?
Yeah.
So you can just say own or renting. Which one is cheaper? Okay, owning.
Owning is cheaper. Owning is cheaper.
Renting is cheaper.
Renting is cheaper.
Renting is
Rent.
cheaper. Owning. Renting is cheaper. Owning is cheaper. Owning. So we have owning is the one, right?
Owning. Yep. You're the one who's owning. I'm renting.
Okay.
So
no, take it away, man.
So here's the nice thing, right? We're just looking at it for right now. We're looking at it on a monthly basis. So when you're looking at, it's a pity that we can't share. If we could share, we'd go on a practical deal and look at it. But now here's the thing, right? Because we've also been in a situation whereby it was an apartment, and then now let's run numbers, because numbers are as practical as it gets. So that we are all on the same page. So we're looking at an apartment that's worth 1 million, right? An apartment that's worth 1 million. So it's 1 million and then it's 1 million. Now when we're looking in this area, the rental income, let's just say that it's going at about 9,000. So the rental income is 9,000 for both. 9,000 for both. So income is 9,000. Let's look at the expenses. Now when we're looking at the expenses, especially for owning versus renting, we need to understand something. When you're looking at the guy who's renting, and here's the sad part that a lot of people don't really realize until they are involved in a property deal. So you find out that this person saw that, okay, it's going for 1 million and then the income is good. So they only looked at the 9,000 of income. Now, the biggest problem is not understanding all of your expenses as an owner. Because now when it comes to the guy who's renting, they will be liable for the rent. And then secondly, they will be liable, it depends again, if the water and electricity is either conventional or it's prepaid. So now if it is prepaid, now you as the renter will be liable to pay for both. Now, those are the three costs associated with renting, right? It's the rent, and then it's of course the water and electricity. But now when you're looking at it from an owner's perspective, right, especially these exclusive apartments, you find out that let's look at our expenses from that. We're looking at a bond. And now looking at a bond for 1 million, let's just run at 1%. We're looking at 10,000. So before we even go anywhere as the owner, yes, I'm not paying water and electricity as the owner, but now I'm paying this bond that is 10,000. And now looking at my income again versus expenses, before I even go anywhere, I know that I'm in a deal that is cash flow negative. So what is cash flow negative? Cash flow negative basically means that the money that I am getting is less than my expenses. The money that I am getting is less than my expenses. So when it comes to property investors, some will say, don't stress, it's a long-term game. For me, I wouldn't be in that deal. Because at the end of the day, return on investment is important for me. What do I mean return on investment is important for me? Every money that's coming in, what I need is a situation whereby there's income, there's expenses, and then there's cash flow. Because when I sat down with my accountant, he was like, you need to grow this business. And the only way to grow it is to separate yourself from this. Now, it becomes difficult if you're running at a cash flow negative because you can't separate yourself from this business, because every month now you'll be taking money out of your pocket. And if you do want to have a conversation with us about this, you can just hit us up in the emails. Our email is info@normwealth.co.za. So for me, once I can't separate myself from my business, it's a huge problem, because you're even looking at it from a growth perspective. Yes, when people are looking at me, I've got this beautiful apartment, but when I'm looking at my numbers, it's really tough to differentiate what is really happening. So let's go back now to understanding the owning side. We did mention that my expenses now, looking at just bond alone, it's more. You can't now go back to your tenant and say, I think this 9,000 is not enough. This 9,000 is not enough. How about you start paying 14,000? So here's what's going to happen. You're telling the tenant that they're going to start paying 14,000. Now, when you are looking at your numbers in terms of your expenses, that's when it made more sense that at least I won't be at a loss. But what does this really mean? Your tenant is going to say, but the 2-bedroom apartment next door is renting out for 9,000. Where does that leave you? I've seen a client come to us. They had a property on the market for rental for a whole year without anybody in that. When we sat down with the client, we're like, let's remove emotions. He was like, I'm not emotionally attached to it. Like, I could see the way he was like, I'm not emotional. You are emotionally attached to it. What is your neighbor renting out that same apartment for? 9,000. What is your other neighbor renting it out for? 9,000. But why are you renting yours out at 14,000? The beautiful thing about South Africa, it's an open market. So anyone can put their own price. But open market means the power is with the people. So looking at your expenses again, it's clear that you can see that when it comes to owning, looking at it from a month-to-month basis, it's really more expensive when it comes to your apartment than renting.
So if you really enjoy this information, on the 1st of April, right, you want to write this down. On the 1st of April, we're hosting a property investing workshop. Property investing workshop will be speaking everything property investing. We'll be going deeper in terms of what we're speaking about right now. We're going to be choosing one topic and going deep into it. We'll be having other speakers coming through to speak about what their perspective is within the property investing workshop. Yeah. So what we normally do is that we'd have, like with the previous one, we had a conveyancer to come through and speak about what is conveyancer and what is their job and what are the normal things that happen that people do actually wrong. So if you do like this content, you want to be a property investor, you want to actually go into property investing, however, you don't understand what you are actually doing, can you please just purchase your tickets as soon as possible? I know right now tickets are actually selling at 350 right now. However, that's the early bird ticket. Once that 350 is done, then we are actually going to be selling the tickets for 450. The event will be hosted at the Bryanston Country Club. So we didn't mess around with the venue. We were like, you know what? We're going for good venue. So we're going to be at the Bryanston Country Club on the 1st of April 2023 from 8:30 until 1 o'clock. So what we wanted to do is that we wanted to start in the morning so that you have the rest of the day to implement whatever we're going to be speaking about. So guys, I'm really looking forward to that day. Hope you also looking forward to that day, and also purchase your ticket as soon as possible, man.
One of the first speakers, I see someone spoke about money matters, right? One of the first speakers is Finance with Kay. You can actually check her out. Her content is proper. It's more of how can we go back to the basics and really understand what is property investing, because a lot of people think that they have this is what, when we spoke to her, with the first time we reached out to her, we identified something that most of us have a goal, but we do not have a strategy that's going to take us to this goal. For instance, if it was possible, I could just make everybody join right now and ask you, what is your goal? Somebody will tell me that I want to become a millionaire. Somebody will tell you that I want cash flow of 40,000. But now when I'm asking you that, let's look at the properties that you're having right now. And then it's more of, how is it getting you to that goal? It's not getting you there. So what we really need to do, we need to go back to the basics. Really understand the concept of property investing and finances, how they go hand in hand, so that ultimately we can build on these building blocks so that we can ultimately get to that goal.
Yeah. So if you do want to actually purchase your ticket, you can actually go through to our homepage, and then there's a link there at the homepage. You can just click the link on the homepage. It should send you straight to where you can actually purchase your tickets. So
or even Pick n Pay, man. Yeah, you work.
So if you're afraid of putting your details in on your phone, just make sure that you go to Pick n Pay and tell them that you want a normal.
Saying that we've been working and hosting for the past 2 years. Lebu's my brother, by the way. We are brothers. We are brothers. I was saying that we've been working so hard for the past. We were hosting even during COVID for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
That right now people will be like buying groceries, and then they'll be like, "Can I have the property mastery?"
Yeah. We should actually do a reel or a live where we're going to be purchasing.
Please. Or somebody should send us that. It would be nice. Bro. Yeah.
Tag us. Please do go to Pick n Pay, purchase your ticket, and then tag us while you're purchasing your ticket. That would be awesome.